So we got a couple things we're gonna do as we walk around. We've got some questions from fans that they sent us. We also have what we call like a speed round we're gonna do with you, and then just some general questions. So as we walk, tell everybody where you're from and what do you do when you're off?
From Titusville, Pennsylvania, and I race my off time.
Pretty
much all I do. No, I enjoy watching football, hunting every now and then when I get a chance, and playing with my kids. But it's pretty much racing.
So football teams, Carolina Panthers, Kansas City. Who's your football team?
Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. Okay. The helmet gave it away, I think.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. My wife and I actually have season tickets in Miami.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you get to hit any last year?
Yeah, I went to, I think, 5 games last year.
Okay.
Yeah. We raced in Texas, and my uncle and my cousin come out to Texas with me. They drove the hauler home, and I flew from Texas to Miami, watched a football game, and then flew home and beat the hauler home.
Beat the hauler.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, because you have to drive the hauler most of the time.
Yeah.
Young kids. Does your family travel to all races with you, or they ride with you, or how does that all work?
Most of the time, like 99% of the time, they go right with me in the hauler. But Wisconsin was like 14, 15 hours from my house. And then from there down here, it took us just over 19 hours.
Right.
So that's our baby just turned 1 last week, and that'd been a lot of riding for her. So
yeah.
Brandy and the kids, they stayed home, and then Brandy is flying down here tomorrow.
So I guess, Sean, did you ride with him?
No.
You didn't ride with him. Okay.
I did not have the pleasure.
I noticed at Bristol 2 weeks ago, I guess. I remember walking in the pit area and everybody's there. You've got the playpen for the little girl, and everybody's taking turns. What's your daughter's name? Hayes. Taking turns on the little race car, pushing it through the pit area. And again, I know we joked about earlier about driving the hauler and stuff, but you actually do. I mean, you drive it, you race it, you and your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you have one other crew member that's with you. Okay.
Yep.
And then Sean, you guys just come in every now and again to races. You don't.
We pick and choose the races that we haven't really seen yet, kind of deal. It'd be nice to actually go to all the Speed Week shows now that we live there, where Speed Weeks is. But no, we hit and miss the races as we come and see them. I do remember when Max got hired by us. I do remember him telling us that we had to adjust the schedule for a weekend because he had to help deliver a baby, then he could go back to work. So I do remember getting that part of that conversation, that he'll have to just give him a minute because Brandy was about ready to pop.
Right.
But I remember we had to take a weekend off for that, but it was all good.
So the call you got, so you had no idea this was going to happen. I mean, you had no idea. You made it. Tell me the story.
Hell, 3 minutes before it happened, I didn't know it was going to happen.
I was actually in Delaware crate racing at that Battle of the Bay deal they do every spring, and we'd raced. I can't remember how it worked out, to be honest with you. I think we'd raced once. I don't even know. But I was at one of my buddy's houses working on my stuff. I know when Sean called, so it was definitely out of the blue. He sent me a message on Facebook saying he didn't have each other's phone numbers,
Right.
and he said, "Hey, you got a minute for a phone call?" I'm like, what in the world does he want me? He'd helped with a couple ULMS races in our area, so I thought maybe they were going to put on another race or something, and he wanted some advice or something on something like that. So I was like, yeah, here's my number, give me a call. That wasn't at all what he wanted.
Yeah. So I remember I talked to him not too long after, because I believe someone gave you an insight on him. That was
We knew who Max Blair was, obviously. We just, a lot in this sport, a lot of good people are in it. And sometimes when you put some people together, are all great people, the pairing just doesn't work. And we just have one of those situations. And, we had some frustrating moments. And that Monday morning, I was on the verge of buying a boat. I was pretty sure I was buying a boat. So I was on the phone with Mark Richards from Rocket Chassis, and we were having a conversation, and he said, you need to hire this guy. And he didn't tell me who it was yet. So we're 10 minutes away from this phone call we're talking about. So he's like, listen, the guy you need to hire is Max Blair. And I go, yeah, I know exactly who he is. The other week up there, we just talked about when Wright reared around Williams Grove when he won that race. So while I'm on the phone with Mark, I sent him a Facebook messenger saying, "Hey Max, what's your phone number?" It took a minute, but then he responded back with the phone number. Otherwise, telling me he's looking at that going, "What the hell does this guy want with me?" Right? So I'm on the phone with Mark and get off the phone, and I said, "Mark, I'll call you back once I have this phone call." So I dial Max, and Max answers, and I go, literally, this is how this call goes. Max, I'm gonna keep this really short and sweet. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm really not in the best of moods, but how would you like to drive the Viper Motorsports entry on the World of Outlaws for your career moving forward? Phone got silent for a minute, because I'm pretty sure he's thinking maybe this is a prank call, or what is going on here? So he goes, "Well, I'm in, but this is a family thing for us, and I got to go have a conversation." So I'm thinking to myself, me and Lisa are there. I'm like, he's gonna call us back this evening. I gotta make some phone calls and take care of some stuff. So I put the phone down to go up into the kitchen to get a cup of coffee. My phone rings back while I'm getting the coffee, and he's like, "Word." So at that point, the logistics all started to set themselves up. That like the story of, I didn't know I was hiring Max Blair until 3 minutes before I hired Max Blair. That's a true story.
So when he got off the phone and said, "I'll call you back," what do you think he was hanging up? You had to talk to your wife, maybe? Is she the one that kind of?
And my dad.
And your dad, okay. Yeah, 'cause your dad is basically your crew chief.
Yeah, we've always done it together. Not only couldn't I do it without him, like performance-wise, but I wouldn't want to do it without him either. I mean, and that was something that we talked about right off the bat, was that, you know, if I'm going to do it, I want my dad to be able to be involved, and they immediately said, "Absolutely, done deal." No, didn't even have to ask.
But there was no telling your wife, "Hey, we need to hold off on the baby now. It's too far along, right?"
No, at that point, I think she was due like two or 3 weeks
so
from the phone call.
That was the part of the conversation that said,
Yeah.
"I have to give you the date. This is when we're expecting to have this child. That we're not going to be able to race that weekend. We'll go." So I actually had about 5 minutes into knowing Max Blair over the phone. I knew when that kid was coming 5 minutes into the conversation, because that was part of the deal.
Right.
So now it was that story could have played out 1,000 ways that Monday night. We could be sitting on a boat somewhere near St. Augustine. Like I mean, that thing could have played out a million ways that morning.
Would you be driving the boat, you think?
Well, what I always ask Max is like, what if you looked at that message and said, "I'm kind of busy right now. I'll just get to him after the weekend's over," and left it sit there for 4 days before he responded to me. Like, I'm not sure how bad that morning was and what I was going through that morning. I'm not so sure that 30 minutes later after I sent that message that I may not have started looking at other directions and buying a boat. So it's just, that whole thing played out. You talk about Cinderella stories and how they play out here. That morning just played out the way it did.
Yeah, here you are today.
A year later.
Yeah, practically a year later. You know, you've got you won Cherokee a few weeks ago or last month. Again, leading the points and going into Charlotte. So you got 4 races in Charlotte this week, big money.
Yep.
Excited about that. We're gonna just do a little speed round, okay? And we'll talk to Max and Lisa and Sean. Wait, come on over here. Get you guys. Come on, Lisa. I know you're dying to get in front of the camera. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna say, I'm just gonna give you a name, okay? And just tell me the first thing that comes to mind, okay? All right. I'll start with Lisa. Okay. Sean Martin.
The hesitation is priceless.
Oh look, you gotta answer. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the name you give me, Sean Martin.
Sean Martin. Tell us.
Viper.
Who? Viper Motorsports.
It's always the first thing comes to my mind. Viper.
Oh, really?
That's
Sean,
our
did you know
nicknames.
that? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that's our nicknames?
No.
Mr.
We went to
Mrs.
a
Viper.
wedding once, and
Oh,
somebody put that on the invitation
On the
card.
place cards at the table
Yeah.
where we were attending a wedding, it said Mr. and Mrs. Viper.
Huh.
For our wedding,
You
she
guys
got the
have
cake topper
venom?
done and 2 purple snakes that were intertwined. That was our cake
Oh, yeah?
topper. She did that.
Yeah, that was
I
our
didn't.
cake topper.
I didn't have nothing to do with it either. It's all her.
All right. Sean. Brandy Blair.
Eccentric.
I'm just glad you didn't give me that one.
We're good. All right. Max. We'll give you Sean Martin.
Thankful. I'm just thankful for the chance they're giving me.
That's good. That's good. Viper. Thankful. And you said eccentric.
Eccentric.
Okay. So Lisa. Well, I'll tell you what, Sean, what do you think about SRI Performance?
When I come in here, the first thing I think of is NASCAR.
Yeah.
I think NASCAR. You're in NASCAR country and racing country here. It's almost like the center of it.
Yeah.
I look at all the shows. First thing I think about is like how many NASCAR drivers have I watched win races and their parts are sitting right in front of me in my face and I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, a lot of inventory, a lot of history.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of history. All right, so we got a couple fan questions. And the first one is, what would be your dream tractor race?
I've been asked that a bunch, not that exact question, but people always say, what race are you looking the most forward to? I really don't know if I have one. I like going to every race. I mean, I enjoy racing around the house because there's more people I know, like next week we're racing around home and there's going to be 30 people standing around. It's cool to see everybody.
Yeah,
and
right.
People who have been a big part of my racing for a long time will get to be there where they don't get to come as much now. So, that's cool, but it's always, I enjoy going to new racetracks. It's fun going to the Eldora and Volusia and the big races. I don't know if I really have a direct answer for it.
Well, I'll tell you what we probably all have is another fan asked, what has been the weirdest thing that's happened at a track? I'm sure all you guys probably have an answer to that. But so, what has been the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you?
The weirdest thing? I don't know.
Pac-Man 69.
Probably that time when the people who own Viper Motorsports called me and asked me if I wanted to drive their car. I was at the races when that happened. I mean, that I definitely wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah, right. I would get into, because we were at lunch today and we asked, or Lisa was telling us about the first time she met your wife. And how that went. I don't know if that's something that you want to talk about or not, but does he even know?
It's appropriate.
Oh, it's not appropriate. Okay, maybe it's not appropriate.
Maybe that's the only part you got to say about it.
I'm sure he knows what she says about him.
So she was here right now. Would she answer questions for us? We talked to her. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So she's a
You
big part of
can
your
catch
race.
her tomorrow at the racetrack if
Okay.
you want.
She'll be flying in tonight.
Bring your camera. I think she lands at 2 o'clock or something tomorrow.
I told Max that the SRI was planning on interviewing his wife and the spouses, and Max had said that she would be entertaining at my expense 100%.
My
expense.
That's what he expected. So.
Yeah. How long have you been married?
Too long.
Oh, one of them deals.
We got married in 2016, November of 2016. We've been together since 2013. However many years that
Oh,
is.
okay, yeah, that's a lot. Probably not as long as you two, though.
3 decades.
Yeah. Okay. Viper, Mrs. Viper, Mr. Viper. But look, we wish you guys the best of luck this weekend. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for bringing your car, doing the podcast with us today, and we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, Lisa.
Always a pleasure.